Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host today. Today is 11th of October 2023. And as usual, we would start with introductions, but we can skip that there are no new participants in the meeting. And on to the reminders, please remember that the meeting is recorded. And if you want to have the project, please look for the help wanted labels in the GitHub organization in any repository. And you can find these issues where we would like to get some help. Then if you feel that your organization is fine with publicly acknowledging that it is using Metal3, then please add your organization to the Metal3 adopters list by creating a PR and pushing it to the Metal3 docs repository. And you will find the adopters.md file, and that's what you have to edit to add your organization. That would greatly help the project. Then if you run into CI issues on your PRs, then please, if you think that that is not related to your actual PR, just feel free to make an issue and then assign it to the Metal3 CI tracker project. You can do it from the issue creation page, and that way the maintainers and the people who work on the CI can monitor the issues a bit better. And we have a reminder from, before that, we also have the incubation proposal, which is in Google Docs, and everybody who is who is a subscriber to the mailing list, part of the Google group, can comment, edit, and modify this file. Please feel free to do so. And at the bottom, you can find even more information about things that we should integrate into the project before we can apply for incubation. But you can also see the current form of the incubation text, and you can edit it, and you can find additional information both at the header or the top of the text and at the bottom from this section onwards or downwards. Yep, and the last reminder is from me, and this is just a review request that's up for quite some time, and please feel free to review this PR. It's sitting there for a long time, and every question has been answered and every issue has been fixed so far. So please take a look. Okay, so with that, we are done with the reminders related to community working group updates. Is there anyone who would like to talk about the Ironic Scalability working group? If not, then we can skip that. Then on to the discussion topics. And the first discussion topics is a review request from
Okay, sorry,
Ricardo.
I tried to answer, but I was...
Oh, okay.
My headset was on mute, so I was like, I don't think to be on mute, but I actually was. Sorry for interrupting you, Adam. I actually don't have any updates about scaling group, but I did have a review pass on the fake API patch. It does need a bit more work to decouple it from the assumptions that real API has, if we cannot afford having, like, executing one command at a time. But I think it's getting somewhere, so let's keep working on that. And that's essentially all I have.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks. So if there are no comments to this, then we can go to the discussion topics. Okay, so the first one is a review request from Ricardo.
He's not here. He wrote in the document.
Sure.
So just
yeah.
a review request.
Yep, I checked it just before we started. So this is a customization option for an upper constraint file, and upper constraint is used in this context for Python package installations. You can specify what is the upper constraints for your package versions. This is just for those who are not familiar with this. And yeah, I will take a look. It doesn't seem to be too complicated. Is there any comments related to this? Okay, then we can continue. Next is from Dimitri. It's related to the inspection deprecation proposal.
Yeah, I hope I'm still online. So that's what we agreed on the last meeting, essentially, that I have a write-up of what we are doing with regards to removing inspector. That's the first pass. I would really love to see comments from people who are running stuff in the wild. Steve, maybe from you, because you have a deployment that doesn't look like most Metal3 deployments, but also from other people. Try to get some attention from Red Hat people as well.
Okay, this will be a good discussion, I believe. What I know from my downstream experiences, currently we don't have issues if inspector goes away. But what is interesting to me, I don't know if it's discussed in your document, but what will be the effect of this in case of multi-tenant systems? But because
Not sure what you mean.
we had this possibility, right, that two Ironic can communicate with one inspector, right? That was a thing. If you have a separate inspector, like they can use one inspector to do the inspection for both of them. Wasn't that
Wait,
a
you're talking
thing?
about multi-tenancy or HA? Because
Okay,
that's
sorry,
what
yeah, HA from the Ironic.
all right. Okay, you get me confused for a second. Yeah. Impact on HA is strictly positive. I think I do mention it somewhere actually on the line 31. Maybe I can go in more details on this, but Ironic is HA ready. Ironic Inspector has never really been, so by getting rid of it, we're making our life much easier there.
Okay, thanks. That was just my interest. Okay, if anyone else have questions, feel free to ask already. That's why we are here to discuss such topics. But if no immediate questions, then we can just continue for the next one. And that is from Kashif.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to inform the community that as agreed before, we have now added the CI and then branched out for bare metal operator. So we have now currently one more branch apart from the main branch or the dev branch. The other one is the release 0.4. The CI is also up for that. And I had a test PR to test the CI. So far, it looks good. I thought that actually after the issue that I created last time, we have also added how many of these branches we would be supporting, because we agreed that there would be 2 more branches apart from the main. 2 more recent minor releases, I mean, and I don't see that is actually added in the contribution guide as we do have, for example, in CAPM3. So I might need to have one more PR just to make it sure that we specify exactly how many branches would be there. So once this is looking good, then the next step would be to add release 0.3 branch as well, and the CI for that as well. Yep, that's the update.
Thank you. Is there any comment related to this? That was discussed many times, but feel free to ask questions. If nothing, then just a public service announcement. This is not tracked in the flake tracker because it's not really a flake. We don't know the reasons. There are infrastructure problems behind the MetaCube CI, and if you see in error messages saying that there is an SSH broken pipe issue with your PR at some point during the execution, this is related to that. We have contacted and we are in talks with the infrastructure provider. We have not pinpointed what causes these failures, but we are quite sure and done a lot of tests that this is not coming from any of our own code or infra code or anything. We seen these issues ranging from happening within 2 minutes into happening at like an end of a job after 3 hours, and everywhere in between, and in changing frequency, and sometimes they are not run, but in many cases they are. We kind of suspect that this is an issue related to SSH communication between two regions where we have workers. And let's see, it's going on for a bit more than a week since our infrastructure provider had some network maintenance. Since then, we see this, and we hope that together with them we can figure out something. Yeah. Yep. That's just an announcement. There's really not much to do about that. And are there any questions related to any of the topics, reminders, discussion, anything? If not, then we can go to triaging. I've done some pre-triaging, so more or less remember how things look. Okay, so that is this one, which got accepted as I see, so we don't have to discuss. Let me refresh. Okay, so first one is this E2E resource collection. And this is from Leonard. You are in the call.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is related to the new E2E tests that we are working on. Any help in these is very much appreciated. So if you have time for a quick issue, take one of them. There are several. This one would be, I think, very helpful. The idea is that currently the tests collect the BMO and ironic logs, but not much more. Yeah, they collect the events from the namespace where we create test objects, but it could be also nice to collect like the bare metal host objects and probably more stuff like, I don't know, hardware details or things like that. So yeah, just adding that in there so it's collected also. There should be pretty good examples how we collect the logs. So yeah, I don't expect it to be very hard to solve, but it may take some time to just get used to how the E2E tests are set up. Yep, that's it.
Okay, thanks. From my side, I mean, any improvements to E2E is good thing. Is there any questions or comments related to this? I would like to accept it, but if there are any counter opinions. Okay, if not, then I will just accept it. Okay. This is very interesting. I didn't know about this.
Right, yes. Yeah, I don't think it was really known upstream with copy either. But after we added this flag and the environment variable to set it, there was a bug report, I think, that it was not picked up. I think that was from our downstream. And I think I linked here also to an issue in copy. I thought there was something wrong with copy, and they found out then that the library used to pick up these environment variables, it does not accept lowercase variables at all for some reason. And I guess that will not be so easy to change. So they have added basically in the copy docs that environment variables need to be uppercase to be picked up when templating any kind of things like this. I'm not sure really what we should do, but I think we need to do something about it. Changing the environment variable name is probably the easiest change, but then on the other hand, if someone is already using it, that would be disruptive to them. To make things more complicated, if you set this value in the cluster cattle config file, then it works perfectly fine with lowercase. So if someone is using that now, it works. And then if we change the name, then they would need to change. So I'm not completely sure what to do, but I think we need to address it in some way. Ideas are very much appreciated, and also, of course, comments directly on this issue.
Is there anyone who would like to add something?
I guess we need to change this because it is required. So yeah, I think we can accept it as an issue, and we have to work on that, I guess.
Yep. Okay. Just wondering that would be there some way of transitioning less abruptly. But this breaks cluster CTL. Where do we add it? Just to showcase that also. So this is the argument we talk about.
Yeah, and basically when you run something like cluster cattle init, it will template this file, and depending on then what you have in your cluster cattle config and in your environment, it would set this flag. And then because of this issue that it's lowercase, it will actually not pick up on the environment variable. it will pick up on the cluster.conf config.
And as far as I can think of, Metal3 is always used with clusterctl, isn't it? Or I mean, I suppose you can. No, there is no much sense, right? To support a broken option for clusterctl, like a broken config, because yeah. So I think that's fine. I was just thinking, introducing one that has a compatible name while leaving there the old one, but I don't see the point. Okay. This was something that I'm thinking putting that help or some feedback to the original reporter. This was IPM. Yeah, this is not the iDirect. This is the IPM issue in Devon with the VBMCs or VBMC. It's we requested data. We got data. I'm not sure if this helps. I was wondering that maybe I add a /help here. Then folks can check and maybe add the question tag also. Because I'm realizing that these Debian issues are very hard to debug from a few logs without being in an interactive environment and poking things. Don't we have a question? Oh, just probably not managed. Okay. If you have time, please help the contributors or the people who ask questions if you have an idea. I don't related to this. Okay, and then I went through all of these and there were no updates, if I remember correctly. They're still all stuck, or the discussions are still ongoing. Yes. Just quickly, I will check them. Yes. Yes. Okay. And I wrote them some comment here. This is maybe the last one that's interesting is there was this discussion about deleting the BMH and the credentials are also being deleted, and there was a discussion back and forth about what's the Kubernetes way, what's our way. And at the bottom, it seemed to me that we are converging maybe on an optional feature. So turning this, what is now like a constant, like that we always delete it, into an optional one. So those who were participating in this, please just reply to the thread or to the PR, because I kind of feel the confusion from the original reporter. And although this is for the OCP, not for the upstream MetaCube, this is still something that's relevant for us. Yep, and these are all the issues that were labeled for triage. Let's check the stale quickly. Do we have anything that's this should be frozen and it is still stale because I probably used the wrong label. Okay. Okay, there were no communication and the same. Okay, so we are done with the triaging. Are there any questions or suggestions or things that you want to discuss? Okay, if nothing, then I don't want to take more of your time. Our last meeting was anyway very long, if I remember correctly. So have a nice rest of the day and let's meet next week, same time. And until then, bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks all.